Genshin Impact is finally out on Xbox, and if you haven't tried this massive free-to-play open-world action RPG before, now is the perfect time. The latest region just got expanded with some really cool new content, and the newly released characters are amazing too. Plus, if you're trying the game on Xbox, you're also getting some free gifts, so let me catch you up to speed. Thanks to Genshin Impact for sponsoring the video. You can check out the game via the special link in the video description. So by logging in on Xbox, you'll get some free rewards, which include this cool new skin for your glider. You can equip it by going into the character menu and then selecting the dressing room by pressing the right stick. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate members will receive even more free stuff with each upcoming title update, including the very valuable resource Primo Gems. If you've already played Genshin on a different platform, you can easily link your accounts to keep your progression and still benefit from those free rewards. But with the game being available on a new console, I expect a lot of new players showing up as well, so let me talk you through what kind of game Genshin Impact actually is. Your story starts with the Traveler, your player character who reawakens after a mysterious incident stripped them of their magical powers. They're stranded in the realm of Tevat, a massive world that has been ever expanding since Genshin's launch back in 2020. So while you'll start in the more traditional fantasy region of Mondstadt, you'll eventually end up in vast deserts, island archipelagos, and even an almost prehistoric land where dinosaur-like saurians roam free. And the map isn't the only thing that will be expanding, because while you start out as the Traveler, you'll quickly start expanding your party with new characters that you can also play as. You'll build up to a roster of 4 that you can swap between on the fly during combat, with each character of course coming with their own unique set of skills. They all use different categories of weapons too, like spears, bows and greatswords, but the biggest thing that sets them apart is their elemental affinity. There are 7 different elements in Genshin Impact, and many of them can be combined to trigger a powerful elemental reaction. For example, hitting a target drenched in water with a fire attack will trigger the vaporize reaction, which increases the damage of the attack that triggers the effect. Since most characters can only deal one type of elemental damage, you need to set up your party so that you can combine your character skills and attacks to trigger these reactions. And that's just the start, as each party member of course has unique skills that allow them to fill certain roles, like Jean is more support oriented thanks to her AoE healing field, and Hu Tao is more focused on DPS as she can sacrifice health to set her spear ablaze for extra damage. You can also equip them with different weapons and artifacts with unique perks, level them and their abilities up to make them even more powerful, so again there is a lot of depth to these systems. New characters are constantly added to the game as well, and to give you an idea of how unique these are, let's have a look at the most recent 2 additions. Starting with the archer Auroron, who wields electric powers and a bow. He can also summon an Oculus device to lure in nearby enemies and deal electro damage to them, but most importantly, he can leap very high into the sky and line up his arrows from there, which is a very useful skill for an archer. And if you enjoy shooting targets from up high, the other new character, Chaska, will be even more to your liking. She also uses a bow for regular attacks, but for her special attacks she uses her massive rifle that also doubles as a magical flying broomstick. Yeah, I'm not kidding, you can use Chaska's rifle to fly through the skies like you're a witch, and this also allows you to unleash a powerful special attack, multi-target fire. This allows Chaska to lock onto multiple targets and fire homing elemental shells up to 6 in one barrage. Now, with her being a wind character, or anemo as the game calls it, most of her damage will be of the same type. But some of the shells in your multi-target fire can actually be enhanced by an element of another member in your current party, meaning you can fire multiple elements in a single barrage. And this also allows Chaska to both set up and detonate her own elemental combos. So she is a very rewarding character thanks to her unique movement skills, and she also rewards you for clever party composition thanks to the unique properties of multi-target fire. And by the way, if you enjoyed the video so far, be sure to leave a like and subscribe for more videos like this. Now, while some characters can join your party as part of a quest reward, most of them need to be earned through the game's wish system. You'll need the Primo Gems I mentioned earlier to buy the items needed to access these wishes, but luckily there are many ways to earn them. Quests are always a good start, as are some of the limited time events that you can access from the pause menu. A nice one to try is the banner preview, where you can try out the characters that have a higher chance to appear in the current wish banner, so you can see if you like them before you attempt to get them. You also have a set of 4 daily commissions, which are small side quests that you can do to steadily earn more Primo Gems, and they also take you out exploring the map, as Genshin Impact has a massive world with a ton of things for you to do. You have a lot of basic materials and ingredients you can grab or loot from enemies, and you can also find these elemental crystals that you can offer to special statues to increase your maximum stamina, which is something you want to do, as sprinting, gliding and climbing all drain you of this resource, so having more stamina makes exploration much quicker. But the open world also has a ton of reward chests that are either locked by a puzzle or a nearby combat encounter, and the further you progress through the different regions, the more interesting these encounters get. You see, while Genshin is one big open world, it's divided into different regions, and each region has a unique aesthetic and culture, but most importantly, unique mechanics to spice up exploration. The latest edition, Natlan, is the perfect example of this, as you'll be able to change into the dinosaur-like saurians that all have special powers. The early part of the region already had the rock-digging Tepetlosaur, the agile Yunkasaur, and the swimming Koholosaur for you to try out. But the latest update unlocked a new part of Natlan, which also added 2 new types of saurians, one of which is the flying Cuckoosaur. I don't think I need to explain how turning into a flying creature makes exploration a lot easier, but you can also expect special challenges in the new region that utilize their skills. The same is true for the bat-like Iktomisaur, who have an even more interesting power thanks to their special sight. This allows them to see and reveal hidden areas, and it also enables them to recreate items from special drawings. So this might allow you to place a bomb that's needed to complete a puzzle, or place a rock formation to match and recreate a painting. There's some really cool ideas here, and if you do ever get tired of turning into a saurian, then there are still a lot of other regions to explore with more unique mechanics to spice up exploration. The main quest will gradually take you through these different regions as well, introducing you to a ton of their characters and culture, so if you really want to get invested in the world of the VAP, that's the best place to start. But you'll run into plenty of side quests too, which will help you earn the materials you need to level up your characters and gear. Another important part of getting stronger is challenging special bosses. These are a definite highlight of the game for me. They're very varied, and you can find them in set locations in the world, which means that most expansions of the map also include a new boss fight or two, which is also true for this most recent update. Because most bosses have an elemental affinity, it also forces you to think about your team composition, as bringing a hydro character to fight a water boss is not the best idea. But yeah, these bosses drop materials required to ascend certain characters, which you need to do to level them up beyond a certain threshold. The same principle applies to weapons, but the materials required to ascend these are often looted from special combat challenge dungeons. These challenge encounters have you beat a certain number of enemies within a time limit, and they often have a unique modifier that empowers a certain playstyle or element. So like bosses, they force you to rethink your team composition to get the most out of these special buffs, which will obviously make the encounters a lot easier too. Next to those individual challenges, there are also some more substantial pieces of side content. There's a multi-layered dungeon called the Spiral Abyss that has you take on a series of combat challenges, some of which even require you to make 2 separate teams that you alternate between each encounter. There are also completely optional regions of the map with their own story and quest, like the dangerous mountain of Dragonspine or some of the more perilous islands in the region of Inazuma. And if you really want a change of pace, there's even an in-universe card game to try out. No matter what you do, every activity grants progress toward your next adventure rank, which is sort of like your account level. You can earn various rewards from this, but at certain intervals, it also allows you to increase your world level. This makes every enemy in the world level up, meaning that combat will always be rewarding even if you run through early areas with higher level characters. And that's just talking about the stuff that's already in the game, as Genshin constantly receives major content updates that add new quests, regions of the map, timed events, and playable characters. Thanks again to Genshim Impact for sponsoring the video. You can check out the game via the special link in the video description. Subscribe to not miss our next video, leave a like if you enjoyed this one, and if you want, you can watch our previous Genshin video on the big 5.0 update by clicking on the screen. I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.